Welcome to Agent Reacts, Real Estate on Reddit. Welcome to the series. In this show, I dive into posts from the r/real estate subreddit, share my perspective, and review some of the top comments and discussions. Buyer said it would be their primary residence and they just put it up for rent. Looking at their post, it seems like they're angry, which I totally understand, because there's nothing worse than having someone lie to you, usually straight up to your face. And honestly, there's not much you can do at this moment. There is this section in the contract to buy and sell in Colorado where the buyer will state if they will occupy the property as a primary resident or a secondary home. And basically that's just for the lender. It doesn't really change anything for the seller, that information. So this person that did this post will just have to be angry for a while and kind of steam off somewhere, because I know it sucks and it's not what you wanted, but at the same time it's not your home anymore. And yeah, like they say here, I told our agent I wanted to sell to a family who would use it as their primary residence. And again, it seems like they're talking to the bank and probably the mortgage broker, their lender. And I don't know if it's worth your time. It sucks to have someone lie to you, and seeing your previous home, your gem, where you have a lot of memories, see it being an Airbnb or a short-term rental, or who knows, it could be a long-term rental and there's this super nice wholesome family that moves in and appreciate it just as much as you did. Yeah, sucks. Let's see what people are saying. What a lot of people have to realize, that people can be, scumbags, a-holes, and that's just the way it is. I try not to be, and I know a lot of people in my close proximity are not, and I don't want to be around people like that, but they are definitely out there. What did they say? Bad apples. Yeah, like here. There are multiple reasons why people can do something like this, and I understand. Okay, so here's a comment, and it's kind of saying what I was saying, that just because it's rented out to someone doesn't mean that they will not take care of the home. If you don't take care of your rental, you will lose your security deposit. You might have to pay more money just to fix whatever you broke. You don't always have to go to the worst possible scenario like this. Crazy stuff happens, and they might not be able to move in right away. Maybe they're out of state, maybe they have to finish up their work. It doesn't have to be bad. Alright, so I found this one. Why would you sell your home? For sale by owner. FSBO is for sale by owner. I think this person is asking what would some of the reasons be to take this route, and all I can really say about this is to save money. They've had a negative experience with agents before, which a lot of people on this subreddit seem to have had. I don't really know what all these agents are doing, but it seems like a lot of disaster scenarios are happening. But yeah, the main reason to do a for sale by owner is to save money. You don't pay the buyer's agent, you don't pay your own agent. There are reasons why you would want an agent and not take this route. Yes, you would have to pay at least the seller's agent, the listing agent, But if you get a good enough agent, you would not have to do a whole lot of work yourself. I mean, you would have to do your due diligence and read the disclosures, vet all the offers that are coming in, but in the gist of it all, the title company and your real estate agent would do most of the work for you. If that's worth your money, then get an agent. If you don't want to pay 3 to 6% to an agent, then definitely do a for sale by owner. All right, let's see what else we can find. What's this? Okay, Washington State. So what I can say about leases is that if you need to break your lease, sometimes you could, sorry about the dog, sometimes you could get a new renter to take your place in the apartment or in the house, and that will let you break the lease without having to pay anything extra. This will not work all the time, depending on how your lease is set up and whatever clauses they have in there. But before breaking a lease and having to pay a bunch of money, try to get someone else and to take your place, take over the lease. Did I misunderstand this? I'm definitely not an expert in leases, but it does seem like I misunderstood this. But in the case that you have to break a lease, look over your lease, see what you can do. But sometimes you can get someone else in there and save you some money, because saving money is always a good thing. Whatever you do, if you're rich, poor, you always want to save money. Grounds to go after seller. Whoops. Yeah, be careful with flipped homes, guys. It's usually they try to save as much money as possible to make as much money as possible, and I mean, I've seen some bad flips out there. Oh, rotten roof deck boards. I'm not sure I 100% agree with this comment here. If you can somehow prove that they did not disclose material fact, if you're selling a home and you know there's a material fact, a defect, something like, in this case, something that's rotten, and you know about it, you should always disclose it. Even though it means that you have to fix something, you have to put up some money, sell a concession, because you do not want to get sued, because you can lose so much more money from this. And again, I'm not a legal counsel, but I always tell my clients, disclose. Because as you can see here, water damage in an old inspection, which means most certainly the sellers knew about the damage, and they knew about it when they bought it. So you might have, a case here. I don't know. I'm not a real estate lawyer, but they did not disclose a material fact. I don't know if they have any proof of work that this should have been fixed. If they have that, then you might have to talk to the people that fixed it. But looking at their attempt to paint over on the walls and ceilings, it looks like they tried to hide it to get more money. They didn't want to or could not afford to fix it, so they went the quick, easy, and cheap route, and now they might get sued. I mean, this guy seems to look for grounds to go after the seller. And if you're a seller, you do not want that, because it could mean so much more money for you if you lose a lawsuit. If you mediate and you guys agree to fix whatever is broken. look here, in my state, the flippers would be liable if you can prove they received that earlier inspection and didn't disclose. Disclose. My broker in charge, he tells us all the time, it's so important. Let's see what else people are saying. Yeah, again, I'm not sure this is correct. If you could prove that they knew about it and they did not disclose it, again, disclosure. Yeah, I don't know. And it's funny, there are so many stories like this on this subreddit, and it's scary. Buying a house, selling a house, it's a scary process, and that's why you need, usually if you don't have the knowledge, you need someone to help you. And or else there might be problems like this. So need to sell a home fast after 2 years with not much equity on it. Best advice. For whatever reason, you have to sell your property fast. I would say the best way, the easiest way, is to have an agent that has access to the MLS, because that will get you out to a lot more people than if you do a for sale by owner. I would also recommend to price it competitively. I would, have your agent do an awesome CMA. I would have them see what prices are out there and put yours at the best price. So whenever people are looking in that area, they see your home and they see that you have the lowest price, the lowest listing price. Even though your house is not the nicest, you will get a lot of traction from that, depending on the area. Be careful with investors, because you will get as much money as you want. But here's the thing, if you need to sell fast, you're not getting the offers, you need that money, then maybe it's time to look at an investor and see what they can do, because sometimes you need to get that cash fast. This guy saying try for sale by owner or talk to a realtor. I would say talk to a realtor. If you do for sale by owner, usually that takes a lot more time, and if you need to sell fast, I wouldn't recommend it. But again, depending on where you're at, because if you're in a super hot area and there are so many buyers out there and not enough inventory, then maybe you can do for sale by owner. Be careful with investors, guys. So where I'm at right now, I'm up on the 285 corridor in Colorado, and right now it's a buyer's market, so there's a lot of inventory, which means that buyers have they can be picky, they can take their time. Houses are not being sold the same day they're being listed. So if you're doing a for sale by owner and you need to get it done quick, I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible, but I would be careful. Alright, so this was the first episode of Agent Reacts Real Estate on Reddit. I'm gonna try to do more of these, because the stories on here are just crazy. As you can see, there are 2.4 million members, and the things that seems to be going on across the country is amazing. Alright, thanks for stopping by, and I'll catch you on the next one.